Well, good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy extended weekend. And help me welcome my wonderful and beautiful friend, Teri Renner from Holding Your Space.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you for being with me today. I so appreciate it.
I love Sundays with you. It's so much
Oh,
fun.
well, that's good to know. I love them with you. And I've wanted to do the topic we're going to do today for a long time. And even though it's not cheerful, I really believe that it's something you and I can pull off. So we're going to do that together. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So hello,
definitely.
Cat Mama's here. Jeff. Hello, Jeff. Jeff's been very busy. He was on with me and he was on with Denise Fletcher. He's the go-to guy. What can
He's
I say?
he's so talented.
He
So
is
amazing.
talented.
He
He
is.
is. He
Yeah,
is.
he
He's
floors.
fabulous. I love him. Lisa Davis. Hello, Liz and all. And hello, Play Love Remember. And Tiffany Tisdale. And Rossi. Hi, Rossi. How you doing? And Lauren Hunsinger. Yeah. Yeah, Jeff, you got a little bit of a fan club here. Terry and I like you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's Paul Freed. Yay,
Yay,
Paul.
Paul. Oh, we saw it in Wildwood. Wow.
You're just
Loving
the
the beach.
busiest guy, Paul. I tell you what, if I ever get really bored, I think I'm going to fly out and live with you for a while. I think we'd have a good time, honestly. Yeah. We have Jan's free. All right. So, yeah. So, Teri, um, you went out for a brunch this morning. That was a great thing to do.
I
Yeah.
did. I went with a girlfriend and we went to a creperie, as my cousins in England would say. So we went
Ah.
to a crepes place. But it was delicious. It's in a rundown old building that they rehabbed, and
Oh, I like
and
that.
they left the distressed walls on the ceiling and
Mhm.
around, and it was just beautiful.
Oh, that's so nice. I love to see that. What they did was I don't know if I know you've been out here. I think you've been out here,
No, I've
but
never been in the
you've
Northwest,
never been out here.
and I
So,
want.
okay. Well, we're going to get you here. There's a place out here called McMinimans, and they take and rehab old elementary schools and Elks clubs and all of those. And some of them have overnight accommodations, but there's definitely always a restaurant and a bar in there. And there's a lot of them in Oregon. That's where it started. And now there's more up here. And one of them is in an Elks club. The food is but it's very eclectic. And it's
Yeah,
like you like going there. The food, well, you could probably have better somewhere else. But I went there with my kids last year, and it was just they have all these beautiful paintings on the wall and like old nostalgic stuff. So it's kind of fun. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
down
yeah,
home.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Come on out, Wiki. Right? Yeah,
Right. Yes. Yes. Wiki can agree and know all about that too. So Trooper shat upstairs after he went out. Just, yeah, you know what? That's what my dogs do. Jeff and I talked about this
oh,
backstage. It's like you take them out and then they go. He said he saw his dog sneaking up the stairway to where nobody was. And then he came back down very shortly after and he said,
yeah.
These dogs are something else. Hi, Cat. What kind of curtains are you hemming up for your kitchen or bedroom? Or nice to know. Linda
Wow,
Bishop is
nice.
here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, Linda.
Hello. And Tara 12. You're new here. We welcome you. We have a very good community here. And this just happens to be one of the shows that we do where we mostly talk about a topic, and then if we have a little bit of time, we take some questions. But normally we're on. Teri's also on with me on Tuesday nights with two other ladies, and we do a dreams show or visions
Mhm.
or ghostly appearances or things
Yeah,
like that. But anyway, yeah, we're glad
yeah,
you found us. Yeah,
yeah. Come by for Tuesday night, Tara. It's a lot of fun. I think everybody here in the chat right now comes for Tuesday nights too, and
absolutely. Yep.
they could have their own shows on Dreams now. They're amazing. So
Oh, the people in the chat can
yeah,
analyze them better sometimes than we can. Or not
yeah.
that it is, it's not a competition. But
The
the
energy.
other thing is, everybody who does not yet belong to Teri Holding Your Space, please, please, please go over and like and subscribe. And every weekday morning, Eastern time, she does a meditation with Meditation Tribe. And I wish it's a little too early for me. I'm kind of
Yeah.
a night owl. So, but whenever I have gone, it's fabulous. And you can always listen afterwards as well.
Yeah, yeah. We get together and we chat, and a lot of people have their coffee, and we'll talk about
Yeah.
what's going on in our lives, whether it's good or bad, and
Hmm.
everybody helps everybody, and then we do a guided meditation at the end. But if you
Yeah.
reach it and, it's, after the fact, a lot of people watch it later,
Hmm.
about at least twice as many, and then I always put what time the real meditation starts, so you don't have to listen to all the chatter.
Oh, okay. All
But a
right.
lot
So
of
it's
people
usually
like
about maybe 20 minutes in or something like that that you start yeah, something
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
sometimes it's 50 minutes in, sometimes we
Wow.
like a little breath work done,
Yeah,
at
I get
the
it.
end, do some alternate nostril breathing or something, because
Yeah.
it's, yeah, but it does help everybody raise their vibration, doesn't
Sure.
it,
Yeah.
Jeff? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
yeah,
wonderful. Wonderful way to begin your day.
yeah.
Yep. So yes, Wiki, come on out. Definitely. We'll have a big party. Mary's here. Your uncle was pissed. Jeff. Well, it's me in my family. My husband will say, just pick it up. But with me, in my family, it's me that gets mad. Yes.
Yeah,
Let's see. Your dog sees all the lovely spirits in your home. Play love. I love that. That's wonderful. Hello, Linda Kelser. And Mousie's here. Wow, we got a good group. Sonia's here. Well, we're glad you can be here
aw,
too. Donna Marie is here. Jen B is here. Wow, wow, wow. Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes, yes. And yes, and Jeff, who is Tarot Ask Backwards, has a channel here. And so does Donna Marie. And anybody else that I'm forgetting, my apologies. Just stick your channel in and let people know where you are.
yeah.
Oh, you're eating at McDonald's. Wow. Trump would like that.
You'd have a little bit of that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Linda, I thought you were subscribed already too. So a lot of people, YouTube will kick you off, like, subscriptions or notifications, or
Oh,
it's just something the algorithm does. It's nothing that any
really? I didn't know that.
oh,
Okay,
all the time.
really?
Yeah,
You
all the
mean like if I put my own in? Is that what you mean? If I put
well, if
my own?
you your subscribers, you might lose subscribers just because the algorithm gets rid of them. Oh, all the time. It'll go through a clean out. Yeah,
Well, I know that because it's happened to me. I've lost like
yeah,
30 to 40 people or something, but that's
yeah.
crazy. That's
It
just
is crazy. Yeah,
yes, it is. Yeah.
yeah.
So S. Steele says, to quote Diana Bowles, hello, fellow dancers. Yes, thank you. Wow. Oh, that's so disgusting. It's so hard to get subscribers to begin with. Hi, Carl. I see you there.
Hey,
Um,
Carl.
yeah. And yeah, anyway. Well, we're going to start out today with, and anybody that just came in, thank you for being here. If I missed anybody, it wasn't intentional. Oh, you're welcome, Linda. I'm enjoying doing the short videos, and I'm glad to hear that people are enjoying them. That's great. That's great. Some of them I'm stretching my knowledge this way, and some are this way, and some are this way.
No,
But
you're
yeah.
doing a great job. I love those.
Well, they're
I love all the
short enough
short.
that people can sort of power through them if they are interested in the topic. There's
Yeah,
some people that don't want to listen for an hour.
yeah.
All right. All right. All right. Good, Donna Marie. All right. So I want to talk, Teri and I are going to talk today about Dark Night of the Soul. And what I want you to know about Dark Night of the Soul is it's not necessarily just being depressed, having a loss, um, feeling like the world is not treating you well. It's more than that. It is a process that we go through it's like an existential crisis. In other words, why am I here? What am I doing here? Who am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? That's part of it. But it is being dislodged by love from the perception that the point you've come to is deep enough for you. And so what this means is that you get to a point where you say, you know what, I'm done. And, you know, so it's not like you want to kill yourself. I don't want to ever make fun of that. It's nothing like that. But it's like you feel like you've got a reason to be here. But what is it? And I've been working on it and I've been trying and I don't get it. And there's just lots of other explanations. So let me pull up a couple more. It is a journey into light and a journey from your darkness into the strength and hidden resources of your soul. And that's Carolyn Mace.
I love
Now,
her.
she's our archetype lady that when Teri and I do archetypes and oracles, we pull the cards from Carolyn Mace's deck. And it's, I'm going to give you an example of one of mine. And if Teri wants to, she can. But I'll give you an example after I do all this stuff here. So the dark night of the soul comes just before revelation. You think everything is lost. Everything seems dark. And then comes the new life and all that is needed. And Joseph Campbell is one of my very favorite people.
I love him too.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. He's so, yeah. And that's what you're feeling, Lisa? Well, okay. I think we all need to hear this, honestly. Even if we're not going through it currently, it is something we've experienced and we kind of think to ourselves, I'm crazy. No one, you know, why does everybody else have things better than me? Why are, you know, that kind of thing.
It's a lot of judgment involved with it, and I think also there's a lot of shame sometimes involved in it, which shouldn't be, right?
Right.
That's a construct,
Right.
shame.
Yeah.
We don't
You're
feel that on
absolutely
the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The person who introduced Dark Night of the Soul, and why can't I get here? Oh, now it's saying it doesn't want to load it. Oh, you silly thing.
Mhm.
Remove other media streams from the page. All right, remove.
Call tech.
Yeah.
Hello, tech.
Hello, tech.
My old friend.
So it originated actually centuries ago, back in the 1500s. And if you've ever heard of the mystic St. John of the Cross, he's the one that wrote a poem about it. It does have Christian roots, but it doesn't discriminate regardless of whatever we believe in. A dark night of the soul can happen to just about anybody, but people who describe it as old souls are the most likely to have it. That's because and when we recognize we've lived a past life and we were that old soul, then we understand that this, maybe we're recognizing something we went through from that as well, which couldn't be very, very enlightening, or it could be enlightening, but it couldn't be very happy for us because we thought we'd taken care of that. Yes, 999, he did. He wrote all about it. One of the best things that I found when I was studying all the major religions was the idea that all mystical aspects of every religion are exactly the same, even though the religions aren't the same. So you have Hildegard of Bingen, you have St. John of the Cross, you have, well, I even want to say Padre Pio, you have the Rumi and the Whirling Dervishes, which is
Oh my
Islam.
God.
And yeah, and what is that called again? It is
Sufi?
Sufi, thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
it's Sufism. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Hindus, of course, they have Lakshmi and Durga and, you know, others. Kali, right?
Yeah.
And each and every one of them has this sort of mystical aspect to it. And if you put them side by side, you see that they're really much the same, not exactly, but they have that sort of tie that ties them together. Whereas if you said, you know, one Islamic religion is a lot like Catholicism, you don't see that as much, but with the mystical side of it, you do. Yeah.
You really do. Yeah. When you get into archetypes.
Yeah, definitely.
Completely there. Yeah.
Jesus at the is it Gethsemane? I can't even say it. Yeah. Anyway, when he was in the garden, that's what it says.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And let's see. Tara says, I came out of my dark night last year and it was a decade long. Oh my God, sweetheart. I had one in 2001, to 2004. And I'm glad it wasn't a decade long. But we also have to wonder to ourselves, do we have other things mixed in there, like a Saturn return or something like that? Because that always feels really icky.
Right?
Um, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it can last a long time, and like you said, Tara, and also there's little pieces of it that come on later on too, that we
Yes,
learn more from.
that's right.
We revisit it, or at least I do.
Yep. Paul, you were in a dark place years ago, and it's not a good place. Yeah, no, it's not good for
Yeah.
any of us, really. But it is a question of existentialism as well. It's questioning our existence. We kind of feel worthless. And what happens is it's hard to pull yourself out of it because it really has a lot to do as well with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he talks about the very base is that we have to have food and water, and we have to be able to have a place to live. And there's a lot of people that spend time in shelters. That's a dark night of the soul. That's
Oh, yeah.
horrible. And, so when you're in that low point where you're wondering if you got any food, or you're wondering if you have the ability to have a job or whatever. And then the next one is the higher ones are like sex, spirituality, all these other things. Well, if you haven't got a full stomach, or you don't have a place to live, you're not thinking about sex. You're not thinking, you're not thinking about, I'm going to travel and all that, because you can't. You're just merely trying to exist in this
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
lot when you're going through that, and, that fight or flight response too, that
Yes.
that's so detrimental to our health if we stay there. Like, it's a
Yes.
great thing to have because we need that to be able to, fight
Yep.
off the jaguar or something in the jungle, but
Right.
also, uh, it's a great thing to have, but a lot of people stay in the freeze zone as well, where you've got the fight or flight, but you stay frozen, and I think grief does that a lot, or maybe
Hmm.
have you Tara, for you with the 10-year,
Yeah.
dark night of the soul, that frozen space, you don't know why you're frozen, you don't know how you're
Yep.
getting done everything that you're getting done, but you get things done, but you're exhausted.
And
Right.
I understand this right here.
Yeah.
If you are acting from ego and you're saying, I'm not going to do anything about this because I'm, being stubborn, like you said, reviving the ego space, it only prolongs it. And so you have to almost give yourself over to it in order to free yourself of it. And, a lot of people don't even know how to begin to do that, including myself. I didn't know, because what I was doing was I was thinking about, I've got to find a job. I got to make money. I got to find a job. I got to make money. And I wasn't getting any of it. And that was creating more problems because it was making me feel stressed. And then nothing will ever work out. And, the old bad self-talk came in.
It was
So,
the energy that you were projecting, right? And
yeah.
that's so easy to do when we worry about, we'll worry about finances just because of who's in
Oh, yeah.
power right now, right, in our country,
Yes.
in the
Yeah.
US, and, so a lot of people are worried about their paycheck, their Social Security, whatever,
Yeah.
but, when you live in that state of fear, then it's hard to be productive and manifest good
Right.
energy and, what you want, so, yeah,
Yeah.
no
Very true.
judgment there, no
No
judgment.
judgment. No, none of this is judgment. No.
Yeah.
Wildflower Wind, I understand. I believe you are in a frozen space right now, too. I believe that you are, and this is just because you've been on my channel for years, and I just feel like you haven't been able to move from one place to move and turn and go to another. And some of that it might be self-inflicted. Again, no judgment. And some of it is circumstances. And, we
Yeah,
find ourselves in. Yeah.
sometimes there's a mother wound or a father wound, and where you connect to the divine feminine and the divine masculine,
Hmm.
and a lot of times that's because either your birth parent, your birth parents, maybe your mom wasn't, nurturing, maybe your dad was, in rage all the time, so it's,
Yeah. Could
to
be.
feel
Yeah.
the yeah, to be able to feel the nurturing of the divine feminine, the divine masculine is so important, just like balancing our chakras. It's a
Right.
really important thing to go through.
It definitely is. It
Yeah.
definitely is. So, let me see. It may be amplified or triggered by an impactful event like losing a loved one. And I think a lot of people have felt that and do feel that. It
Yeah.
could even be losing a pet. I mean, and that's a loved one, of course. Um, they people find themselves with a loving family, even a great job, a stable income, and they still can go through one.
Oh,
It
yeah.
has, yeah, it's not dependent upon something else. So it says here, dark night is not triggered by specific trauma. Sometimes it's simply our part of our spiritual evolution. And so in some ways, a lot of us came to our spiritual interest or where we want to be by being pulled into this dark night of the soul so that we could finally say, wait a minute, I got to work on this, or I got to look at this. I got to take a look at this. People going through have existential depression. They may feel guilt or shame because, well, nothing is wrong. Why do I feel this way? It's like I have a really good family, I have a beautiful home, I have a great job, but there's something missing. Why do I feel this way? I should be grateful. Then you're beating yourself up, right?
Yeah. It's the pity pot, right? Everybody's
Right,
got a
right.
pity
The
pot.
pity
It might
party.
be
Yeah, yeah,
where you
yeah.
put your swimming pool in the backyard. It's going to be in the shade. Oh my gosh. Or it might be that you don't have a job. I mean, it's not the
Yeah,
same thing,
yeah.
but somebody can feel very sad about that.
They can. They can.
Yeah.
And it says here, let's see, they may even feel themselves that they don't have the right to be happy. And
Yeah.
that's a lie we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
Or we say everybody else has more than I do, or everybody else. And so when I'm working with Pam Drinnen, when she comes on and she'll tell us what we're feeling, sometimes she'll say that. She'll say, oh, I feel worthless. Everybody has more than I do. Well, we all can feel that way. It doesn't mean we're bad people for feeling that way, but we got to work through it without the ego. So that's important. Let's see, there was okay. I have to, because this is being a screen share, I got to pull this down. All right. So here it comes with some of the, also it says people going through dark night will continue to function and even have a normal life, so to speak, but they might feel pain or suffering. Here's some of those things you could feel. Feeling lost, like you're in the weeds and you've lost sight of the forest. Feeling stuck, trapped, or enclosed in a matrix of society you don't belong in. And seeing a lot of people talking about moving out of some of the interior states to the West Coast or even to Minnesota or Michigan, because they just feel like those places would be better for them. But it's very
Mhm.
hard to uproot your life and move. A lot of people don't have the money to do those kinds of things.
And sometimes it's not that appealing once you get there.
That's very true. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It always looks better until you're settled in and then it's not exactly what you thought it was.
Yeah.
Feeling misunderstood. I've felt that way before, very misunderstood, even by people that loved me. When I was going through my dark night, I would talk to my brother on the phone and I would tell him how I feel, and he'd listen and he'd say, "Oh, it won't last forever." He was being very supportive, but I felt unheard. And that wasn't his fault. That was my perception. He was
Yeah.
doing all he could. Yeah.
Well, but I think a lot of us here are empaths, and a lot of us come from a different star family, and we come in here and we're with, our birth family, and they don't hear us because they don't see us the way that we want to be
Right.
seen. And besides that, society certainly never teaches anybody to listen.
We are taught to listen to respond and
Yeah.
not listen to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, Teri. Feeling empty, a desire to isolate.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think a lot of us can, because if I don't have to deal with anybody, even though I'm depressed, then I don't have to make up excuses or I can even just wear my pajamas all day, right?
Oh, honey, yeah, 7 o'clock PJ time. Hello.
When I'm home, I'm always in comfortable clothes, always. They may not be pajamas, but they're sweats or something because
Oh, yeah.
I just don't want to
Stretch.
get dressed. Um, but when it gets to struggling to get out of bed, eat, or talking to somebody, of course, we certainly both recommend a therapist if you're feeling this kind of clinical depression. But this is beyond that. This isn't just that. It's a spiritual crisis more than it is a, a physical or a mental crisis, I would say.
Yeah, and I think sometimes all 3 are involved in the healing.
It could be.
And,
You're right.
sometimes I think as, you know, people that are into woo-woo, we go with the very spiritual part of healing, and then we'll go with the very, emotional part perhaps, but we get that physically trapped in our bodies too. The psoas and the stomach, our
Yeah,
solar plexus will really get a lot of stuff stuck in there.
we will.
So shaking it out and, any type of movement or getting into earth. It's
Yeah.
huge.
For me, if I really need to be uplifted, I will put on music and just dance around and sing and all that stuff, and it really always makes me feel better.
That's my favorite too. I've been
Is
doing
it?
that since I was a little kid. Yeah, if nobody's home, I'll dance around the house, and now that I have kids, I'll embarrass them. That's even part of the fun.
Yeah, yeah. Old Silver, yes, if you are in a bullying environment, it is very, very difficult. So
Yeah.
none of these reasonings or suggestions on how to get out of it are to be taken lightly because all
Mm-mm.
of us are different and all of us have traumas and schemas that we have been in and live in situations where we can't compare apples and oranges. We just can't. So yeah, it's just a general overstating here. Um, yeah, and a heart, mind, and body and soul being wounded, Lauren. Right,
Love
right.
that line.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Um, Sometimes you feel an internal change is happening. And so I do like that. Stripping of the ego, but that's also a loss of your sense of identity. I remember once doing in a class, I asked everybody to introduce themselves by who they were in one way only and not themselves. I know it sounds strange, but for instance, I am Keith's wife. I am Teri's friend. I am Caramel's owner or, mother. And when we reduce ourselves to those things, we're not the complete package because
Right,
none of us are those one thing.
right.
And I don't know if it really made sense to all my freshmen, but um, they had a hard time articulating one thing.
It really makes you think. It's like when
Uh-huh.
you stick your hand on your desk and you let it sit there and you leave it there, and like it's not a part of your body, and all of a sudden it just brings the silence in.
Yeah.
Just picking out one thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Old Silver, you live alone, but live in an area where women are supposed to be stupid little women in Kentucky. Honey, my husband, Kentucky born and bred. I pulled him away and he thanked me profusely recently, especially since both of his brothers are dead before they're even 68 years old. There's a lot, his daughter still lives there, but it's a hard place to live. And I know that there were people living there and you can't just pick up and get out. But, it just depends. If you could find even one person in your community that had the same feeling about things as you do, you'd be, it would be helpful to you, I think, just knowing you weren't alone in that situation. Theresa, sometimes I look at that empty feeling as it's a space made by spirit for us to grow into. That's true.
100%.
Thank you, Theresa.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, we can go home now. Theresa Ford's done the show as
What did I
usual.
tell you about these people in the chat? They're fabulous. Yeah, it's making you have that space in there in order for you to get through the muck and to bring in that new life because the space has already been made there for it. And so
Yeah.
it's just before the revelation. It's
It
just before the
it
revelation.
is. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
what would we be without them sometimes, right?
Teresa's sorry.
Yeah, right.
Oh, well, good old Silver. And you know that we love you here. This is what has this place in this community on these channels. So many of us have really found our family. And we're all over the place, but that doesn't matter because we're all here together. So, yeah.
It brings people together, and I mean, I feel
Mhm.
that in our morning group that everybody comes in and they have a place to go together and gather. But I see
Yeah.
that on all the channels too, that everybody can get together and they
Yep.
know each other and you know their stories, a lot of them. So
Absolutely.
it is
Absolutely.
very family oriented.
It is family oriented. Yes, Anya. Hi, Anya. Hi, Hinda. It's good to see you too. And Sally's here. Anybody that I haven't said hello to, thank you for being here. Hi, Erin Marie.
Hi, Erin.
Um, so um, let's see. Hopelessness about getting out of this state. That's the hardest thing to negotiate because you don't want to be hopeless and you don't want to be um, reinforcing that negativity. And so that's why it's so important for you to try to find somebody that can support you or to make affirmations that can sort of pull you out of it. Now, I'm not saying it's an instantaneous thing that's going to happen because it isn't. It takes some time. Let's see, a deep evaluation of your sense of self and the meaning you have given to life. One of my dad went through this. He at the end of his life, what's the use? What's the use? It doesn't really, nothing matters. I didn't do anything in my whole life. And of
Yeah,
course that could be a pity party, but he was really feeling it. He was
yeah,
really feeling it. And you can't dismiss people that have that feeling. It's just not honoring where they are in order to help them. Yeah.
yeah.
You're
The
still
the
standing.
pity party is kind of, underplayed. I think that every
Yep.
once in a while, I'll take a couple of hours or 3 hours or sometimes an afternoon and have my pity party if I'm going through something and just
Yeah.
kinda if you go into it deep and fast, then you get out deep and fast sometimes, but
Yeah.
yeah, when
Yeah.
my dad was on his way out, you know, he and my stepmom would say, "Oh, that's the last car I'll ever buy," and things like that, and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Really?"
it's like marking everything as the last thing I'll ever do. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Wow.
Oh,
Um,
happy
or I
birthday.
won't be here. I won't be here to see them graduate from high school.
Yeah,
Okay, and spend as much time as you can with them right now.
right. Yeah,
What can you do? But that's also a feeling that we get to the point where we haven't been authentic our own life, our whole life. We have only lived for others, or we've lived for what we thought we were supposed to do and not what we wanted to do. And so that is a very good reason for a dark night. That really is.
yeah,
Uh,
and I've read a lot about that dark night that, it's kinda something for, like a wall for us to hit, and
yep.
because we're just going like this, and then we can go up and on to
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
the
I
next
hear you.
level.
Um, Loss of interest in your hobbies, your activities, a thirst for spiritual development and connection to greater power, receiving signs and synchronicities, changes in appetite, loss in appetite. Wouldn't that be nice? Changes to sleep
That.
patterns, waking up at 2 to 4 a.m. Now we all do that.
Well,
And
part of that.
yeah, most of us do.
Yeah.
But to me, I think of it as that's the witching hour. That's calling you to do something about what it is you should be doing in your spiritual life. Don't you think, Teri?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Let's,
Yeah.
we're getting so many downloads right now, you guys.
Yeah.
There's so much energy coming in that if you wake up, I don't know about you guys, but I can wake up and I just get shoosh, so
Yeah.
much energy coming in.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
So I have a funny to tell you, and that is twice I've been on with Jeff, and I hear a bird when I'm on a show with Jeff. I can hear it, and other people are hearing this bird as well. And
Mhm.
Jeff says maybe it was somebody that had a bird that was here before, but it's like an awakening. It's like a recognition because it says you developing your clairs. And
Yeah.
so you may have things happen to you that haven't happened to you before. And you've been trying to make them happen. But because you're trying to make them happen, it doesn't happen. So you have to let it go. And then when you let it go, boom, you're open to let it happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a great awakening, that happens after the or during, really, the dark night of the soul.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah.
Definitely is.
And sometimes, like, it seems like maybe 10 years ago even or even less, that it was all about karma, right? Like, if something bad happened to us, we thought, "Oh, what did I do in my past lives, and I'm getting this in this lifetime? I have no idea." But it's
Uh-huh.
not really, it's probably that you're very high level, individual or soul that has come in, and because
Mhm.
of that, you're gonna have more dark nights of the soul.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was kinda judgmental to think that of
Yeah.
ourselves, right? That
Yeah.
we've done
Well,
something.
we love to judge ourselves, well,
Oh my
especially the
gosh.
bad things, you know?
Yeah.
Why did
Yeah.
I say that? Why did I do that? Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. I want to shout out happy birthday to Hinda Ader, and I hope you have a wonderful birthday. And Tiffany, I watched my mother go through it, and I'm glad you decided to do this differently because I
Oh,
had to do that
yeah.
with my mother's life. Um, she just she willed herself to die,
Oh,
really. She really did. My mother went through this existential crisis, and I couldn't help her. I was only a young girl. Well, I was in my 30s, but
yeah.
I went to her house and I got there and there was no pictures on the wall. There were no trinkets on her bureau. Um, the room was completely bare. And I said, "What's going on here?" And she said, "Well, I'm going to die, so I was giving things away." And I said, "Mom," I said, "you don't want to do." No, that's what I'm doing. And by God, she was dead within a couple months. So you can do that, but why would you want to? But for her, there was no outlet. There was no way for her to understand what she needed to do. And she actually was quite clairvoyant, but she just was going through this existential crisis. So,
Wow.
um, yeah, it was kind of sad. But what are
Yeah.
you going to do? You can't, as much as I wanted to save her and I tried to save her in some way, it just doesn't always work. You know, you have to save yourself,
It
unfortunately.
it's interesting how people leave the planet,
Yeah.
or if they get seriously ill, an illness, and, how they respond to it. You know, some people want to give to others, and some people just wanna take from others, so
Well,
that
that's
was
true.
kind of beautiful that she wanted to give.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, but
Very
people
giving.
mistook it because she gave my brother back everything he'd ever given her, like
Oh,
a necklace, and he was insulted.
sure.
Yeah. So, but he's not I had 2 brothers. One was spiritual, one wasn't. The one that wasn't didn't understand. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
the best excuse I found to stay small is to feel incompetent. "You silly girl." Theresa
Oh,
Ford will sometimes put her plate of food that she eats for lunch on Facebook, and I actually look forward to seeing what she's eating. Isn't that
ooh.
funny?
Now I'm gonna
She
have to get on Facebook
Yeah,
more
she'll,
often.
like, have grapes. She'll have 4 or 5 grapes. I mean, she's very meticulous in what she chooses, and, I don't know, I just find it, um, it's like an ascetic, in a way, but
Yeah,
it's a ritual is what she does,
that's
and,
beautiful.
I absolutely loved it. Yeah.
I love that, Teresa.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to say hi to Nicole, Blue Cosmic Blue Avian. It's nice to see you. We all woke up because we are special. Thank you, Linda. I
Oh,
agree with you. And I hope it's cooler today in Texas. It was 104 in her bus that she lives in the other day.
Linda.
And sending you lots of cool breezes.
Yeah,
Cool
yeah,
breezes. Yeah.
that's a lot, girl.
Yeah. Oh, you don't even get to bed till 2 a.m., Hinda? Well, I'm similar to that. I really am. I mean, it isn't intentional, but like last night, I would think I was awake until 3 or something. And then when I did fall asleep, I was awake at 8, and then I had to make myself go back to sleep for a little while longer. Otherwise, I'll never be able to deal with it. So
Aw,
being a starseed has its own set of challenges. Yep, that's
yeah,
right.
right, Hypnicity,
Yeah.
right? And how
I
many of us we have so many friends that are muggles, and they're lovely,
Uh-huh.
right? But then
Yes,
we
they
can come here and be as woo-woo as we want, so it's a
Uh-huh.
joy. Yeah.
Um, this here wiki, you are so right about this wiki. we do become more retrospective. And what I want to say is this: there's a lot of people that one day get up and go, "Ooh, I'm going to die. I think I need to start going to church." I've seen it. I've seen older people show back up. It's like, oh my God, I got to do this before, I want to make sure there's a place for me later. But it's all the same kind of thing. They're going through their own sort of dark night of the soul. And their response to it is to seek whatever it is they feel they haven't been doing a good job with, let's say. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There's
yeah.
there's a lot with that. My brother's going through early onset dementia, and it's been kind of a beautiful thing, and in a way that he is so carefree now, and he's so
Mhm.
happy, and his family has really come around him. That he lives in England, so
Mhm.
I go over once a year, but it's just everybody's so cheerful about it. Like, "Man, what are you thinking? Your shirt's on backwards again," and it'll take
Yeah,
5
yeah,
tries, but he'll get it.
right.
And they make it kind of a game, and it's not like every moment is fun,
No,
'cause there are others that aren't, but there's a beauty in it and a release in it
sure.
that I
Sure.
see, that's lovely.
I
It's
love that because they came together. There are a lot of people that won't. They'll depart and you won't see them again because they can't deal with it or something. I don't
Yeah.
really know what it is. But you can see that also with actually with Bruce Willis. You
Oh,
see that a lot with his granddaughter and his daughters, and actually Demi lives there as well as his new wife and child. And
right?
it's like they're all pulling together to just make the end of his life so beautiful
Yeah,
as much as possible.
it's
Yeah.
a gift for everybody that sees it, for them and for him, for sure, but, part of that's just his personality as he leaves.
Yeah.
They say sometimes that, we burn karma as we leave for other people,
Oh.
like Gandhi. He
Uh-huh.
stayed sick
Uh-huh.
for a long time. Mother Teresa stayed sick for a long time. So,
Mhm.
part of that time is they're burning up the karma of the earth for,
No wonder why the Pope hung on so long then.
right? Burning
Yeah.
there's a lot of
I mean, he
karma.
was on death's door for a long time. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
so burning
I
that
love
off,
that idea. I love
right?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
gift they give the world when they
The
leave.
world. Wow. Wow. Forest dreams. I think it's really hard when we see our children going through these things. And my daughter's kind of going through the same thing. She's 48, and of course, the world isn't the world she hoped for at her age, and she's going through some women's issues, let's say, and everything is, oh my God, it's just awful. And I try without pandering or anything, but I try to say, but there's this, and we talk about something good, and she's got to go through it on her own though, and when she does, she'll come out on the other side and she'll be okay, just like your son. But it really, really is, it is harder for us to watch our kids go through it.
Oh
I
gosh,
truly think
yeah.
so. Yeah, I
That's
do.
that's beautiful that you do that. That was something I had to learn the hard way if my kids were going through something, to realize that they're a divine soul, here
Mhm.
having a
Yeah,
human experience. And
that's right.
when I look at them, see their divinity, not see whatever else was happening, their pain. So it
Uh-huh.
makes a huge
Yeah,
difference.
yeah. Wow. Well, this is something, if this is something that resonates with you, there's a lot of information out there, but don't get stuck in, oh my God, my life's the dark night of the soul. Oh, because that's the last thing I want for you. And if you can recognize it and say, oh, well, no wonder. That must be what's going on. And maybe find something to hold on to that can get you through it. You won't have to suffer as much. And also knowing a lot of other people have gone through it. You're not alone. You're not somebody that this is unusual. that's happening to you.
Yeah, there's so much we can do. Going into curiosity, like, wow, that's
Yeah.
an interesting feeling I'm having right now. Where do I feel it? Is it in my heart? Is it in my solar plexus? And then also, like, what brought this on? Um, and the more we go into curiosity with things, it takes a different part of your brain than fear, and fear is a lot of that. When we get into
Mhm.
that dark night of the soul, we're
Yeah.
scared that we'll never come out of it, and we're scared that, where we'll wind up.
Yeah,
Ugh,
definitely.
yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And when will this end? When will this end? Because it isn't, for me, it was like, oh, I was in despair all the time. What was really hard for me was at the time, I had to make phone calls to people who were behind on their bills, and I was behind on mine.
Yep.
And I felt so hypocritical, but it was my job. I had to do it. And so I did it with as much empathy as I could. In other words, do you think, I'd say, I'm really sorry that I have to call you again about this, but it's my job. And we would try, and Keith was doing the same thing, but it was like, oh my God, if you only knew. I'd have these calls all day long, and it was an interesting juxtaposition to find myself in. But that's like the worst job in the world, isn't it, Teri?
Yeah, but I was really good at it because, like
Well,
you, I was empathic about it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
we had a
yeah.
business, and, my late husband was dying of brain cancer, and it was a construction type business. He was a surveyor,
Hmm.
and it was a small business, and it's a very, we cater to a very male clientele, lots of builders, lots of developers in the
Uh-huh.
Midwest. And I was taking over the business and calling people up to get stuff, and people would call up asking for my husband, but my husband was dying or he was dead. I kept the business
Right,
going after he passed, and I was like,
right.
"Oh, he's not available right now. What can I do for you?" And and at the same time, I was just, like, so low, but
Oh,
it
yeah,
it
yeah.
did help to go through that, but I found that that was one of those times when I was going through not the fight or flight, but the freeze. Like, I have no idea how I pulled that out.
I don't know how we did either at the time. We had
I
no
have no
car.
idea.
We
Yeah.
we had a free apartment. It was part of the business, but we made $7 an hour.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I needed to get a second job, and we didn't have any furniture. We were on a pop-up bed or whatever. I don't know it, but it got me where it just, now looking back on it, it was horrible. But now looking back on it, I say, wow, that really strengthened me up. You know,
Right? Yeah, there were
you do what
times
you got
when
to
we'd
do
have
when you got to do it. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, we'd have $5 to feed a family of 4 for dinner or whatever, and I was like, "Well, I can
yeah,
do that, no problem." But,
right.
but it was that up and down, and once you see that up and down, you know it's just a flow.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely,
I love this,
absolutely.
Lauren. Yeah, and the aging process I have found become emotionally fragile, a strange experience to adjust to. I have learned to consider it a gift. Beautiful. I love that,
That's
Lauren.
Yeah. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that with us as well. Hi, Paul. Nice to see you here. Your daughter is negative, Connie. Oh, I don't know what it is with the girls, and that isn't always the case with everybody's girl, but with mine, she's very negative. Yeah, and it's very hard. Oh, hi, Linda Berteau. Thank you, dear. Thank you.
Oh,
I'm glad you're here. Yeah. Um, Erin Marie says, Dark Night of the Soul makes sense for what you've been feeling because you're feeling a lot of sad. Yes, absolutely, Erin Marie. It isn't, not to be confused though with clinical depression, because when people have clinical depression, they really need to talk to somebody that's a counselor, or they need to have medication, or they need whatever it is that they need. But I said to Teri before we came on, I think a lot of us are feeling a collective dark night of the soul. And that is why it's so important that we gather here and that we do the things we do here in order to uplift us, at least for a part of the day, if that's possible. And to know we're not alone, and to
yeah.
know that, quite honestly, this too shall pass, but boy, it isn't fast enough for most of us. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Wiki says the country is going through the dark night of the soul.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. It is.
Wiki.
And when that happens, you know, we get microcosm, macrocosm. Everything is always plays out in both places. It doesn't mean it has to, it just tends to in our lives and then in the bigger collective. We were talking about
Yeah.
that on the Shine Your Light last night, which is a wonderful show that Marina does to remind us to shine our light. Yeah,
Yeah. Such a
yeah,
beautiful,
it
beautiful.
really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I had an opportunity. I call these growth opportunities, and sometimes I call them effing growth opportunities.
yes,
But,
right.
so last night I'm going to bed and I'm like, "Oh my god, I need a couple of things done in the, kitchen, and then I might need a new dryer." And I thought, boom, 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 it's all coming at me at the same time, right? And
Yeah,
I'm down, I'm like, "Oh god, how am I gonna do all
I
this?"
know.
And
Yeah.
then I get a call in the middle of the night that I woke up for. It wasn't even a call. My daughter's in Italy, and she's
Hmm.
like, "Mom, somebody has, taken all my money, withdrawn all my money out of my bank account." And I was able to just go very circumstant, "Okay, well, this is what we'll do. We'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do this,"
Yep.
and figure it all out for her. And together we got it done, and it was no problem. And then
Yep.
I thought, "Okay, you could do all that for somebody else, but you couldn't do it for yourself last night." And then I thought, "That's all I needed to see." That was actually a really good lesson for me.
It was. It was, Terry. We can always do it. We just have to think about the way we can do it. And I'm not suggesting, I know people have, you know, money issues and other things like that, but
Yeah,
I don't know, there's just you have to look at something from a different perspective in order to solve it, because Einstein says if you do the same things the same way over and over and you keep failing, that's insanity. Don't
right.
keep doing it that way. Let's try it this way. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a really awesome. I'm sorry to hear that, but she called the right lady to take care of that, didn't she?
And it was funny that, she called me on Facebook Messenger, so it's like I could see the dots going, and my
Yeah.
phone was right next to me, which I rarely have, but I was like, so it was just synchronistic.
It was synchronistic. It was
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Theresa, I love this. The country is having a messed up first term of college, falling and failing and being irresponsible. And for me, getting pneumonia first semester of college. I know.
Really?
That's when most of them, yeah, I got pneumonia the first year, and I had to be home for like 3 or 4 weeks. You can't do that, you know, and I just squeaked by. But
Oh,
a
man.
lot of a lot of students that I have will fail it in the first term of college because they don't know how to. They're so happy to be free and they're on their own. They have their mom and dad and oh my god, and then they wake up and go, oh, it's the end of the term.
Whoops.
I haven't passed anything in. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's quite interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, good night,
Uh,
Nicole. You sleep well, dear. Bright,
yeah.
shiny Ray, it's wonderful to see you, my gal.
Hi.
Yeah, yeah. We are coming to the end of the time here. Let's see. You had
Oh, wow, that was
start
fast.
some things for me. Carl has a question. Lisa Davies, you're meant for greater things, but you have no idea. Just allow it. You can't make it happen, Lisa. You just got to sit with it and say, whatever is meant for me will come. Whatever is meant for me will come.
Yeah,
And you can't put a time limit on it, though. That's the hard part. But I know we get to the point where we go, well, geez, I'm 40, 50, 60, 70. And what do I want to be when I grow up? And yeah, we get it. We get
yeah,
it.
that's one of the best soul questions. What do I want? And who
Yeah.
am I?
Yep.
Yeah.
Who am I? Yeah, absolutely. All right. So we have two guys that have questions, and one of them is Carl and one is Paul. And you're almost whacking your head. They're wanting you to let go and stop asking, is what they want. But let's see what we can come up with for you,
Yeah.
Carl. Oh, you
Carl,
got COVID? Oh, dear. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh, he's going, "Yay." Carl,
Yeah.
it's like you're riding a bike and the wheels are off the ground and they're just going around and around right now. You might feel like you're spinning, like spinning wheel, got to go around.
What goes up must come down.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll ask her, Wildflower. We'll ask her when you get a chance. Wildflower wants to know what you told your daughter to do. So, yeah.
It was so easy.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it when you having, like you said, when it's somebody else, it's easier than it is for you.
I could work it all out and it felt so good. Something about the spokes in the wheel. There's a spoke in the wheel right now, and it feels like you're not grounded in this, Carl, in a weird way. Like I can feel your crown chakra, like that you've got all these ideas, but something has to be on the ground right now. So it might be you getting in contact with your root chakra. It might mean that you need to get you restarting again. Yeah. You need to get your boots on the ground and start going after something new.
New. Yeah.
Yeah. It might be a change and another job, or it might be a change in even where you're living.
I thought of that the other day, actually, Carl. Can you go back home? Yeah. And I know that would be hard for you because you have to get there and you have all those cats as well. So that would be a difficult thing. But okay. So what I got the infinity sign. Life just keeps on going over and over again. With you, you are in the dark night of the soul, Carl. However, you have brought in some of your light by the things you've learned in this community. So you're better off than you would have been if you were alone. Let's put it that way. And so, and it's so easy to say this, but not easy to hear this, because like when I called my brother and he'd say, "You'll be all right. Don't worry about it." I felt unheard. But we have to remember that it's us that we have to listen to and not other people. You got the boots on the ground and I got the high heels, but the high heels are saying, don't try to impress anybody that you have any kind of a job interview with. Just go in and say, I can wash dishes. I know how to do that. I could run the dishwasher at a restaurant. I could be the janitor and clean the floors. You have to be willing to do the work. I had a husband who would not do the work until he was made to do it. And he cleaned toilets. He took trash out. And he had that ego thing. Oh, I'm a chiropractor. I don't have to do those things. BS. We all have to do those things. So it might be something like that. But it says to be more in the flow. Things are very fluid, and they are for all of us. And until we understand that, we know that nothing ever lasts forever, whether it's good or bad. And those are hard words to say, because I know you are having a hard time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, good luck, Carl. Yeah.
Theresa wants to be content. And I say that's asking for peace. Freedom from fear. There you go.
Yeah, grace.
Yeah. All right. Paul wants to know about that girl that got away.
Oh, Paul.
Paul's revealing some things. Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like she thinks about you sometimes. Do you dream about her, Paul? Because I feel like she's dreaming. You guys might meet in dreamland.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's awesome. Chop wood, carry water, Barbara. Thank you. Yep. Oh, let's see where she is. I wonder if she's looking for you.
New love, baby. A new love.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Were you high school sweethearts?
Yeah, it's divine timing. So I don't know if this was the first love or if this is going to be your new love, but it's divine timing.
Yeah.
Is she still on the planet, Paul?
I don't know if he knows that. I don't know, because he's saying if she ever got married.
Well, she's really activating my crown
Oh,
chakra when
she
I
is?
want her energy. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, she is still on the planet. Okay. She's very spiritual.
I wonder if she's available.
I
There's a lot of people that meet after a long, long period of time, Paul.
a long time. Yeah.
Mhm.
2 close
And
friends of mine.
yeah,
Yeah, they
yep,
dated in high school
yep.
and she
They
got a
married
divorce and
somebody
he got a
else or
divorce.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It can
They're
happen.
so happy. They're having
Look,
so much
Paul, I
fun.
got the disco ball, and we all know you love to party. It's like you go to concerts, you go to all kinds of things, and I bet she'd love to do those things with you. And you are seeking more excitement. You want to shake things up. Never too late. And but you're also looking for an anchor, and maybe she is too. Maybe she's looking for somebody to share her life with. I'd find her if I were you and
Yeah,
ask her.
look on Facebook,
Yeah,
Paul.
yeah, yeah.
And probably somebody from your school will know her.
Yeah, yeah. That's very true.
Yeah.
Oh, this is yours. Give me another 3 to 6 decades, then maybe I'll understand why I'm here. Erin Marie, you don't want to wait that long, do you? I mean, it's never too late, but you don't want to get to the point and say, there's a poem out there. This one's yours, I recognize. There's a poem out there that says, if I had known, I'm an old woman, and if I had known what I would have worn more purple. I think that's what that poem
Oh,
says. And I would have danced more, and I would have eaten French fries. I don't know, whatever it is. It's
yeah.
like it's like we're only living now. We were already past this part, and this is where we're going, but we don't know if we'll get there. So this is really all there is. And so eat the cake, eat the cake,
Yeah. Have fun.
have fun. Monkey mind when meditating. Oh, honey. That's why I like guided meditations. And that's why I actually like what Teri does, because you don't have to, she's got you busy with that mind. You're not thinking about other stuff. You're
We go
thinking about
on
where Teri's taking us. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
go on journeys and such. I also,
Mhm.
am a Chopra teacher, and I do, silent meditation. I teach that, but,
Okay.
it's just I don't do it on YouTube, so,
Okay. Well, that's okay. But
yeah.
I think people think meditation means you have to be completely quiet, and there's
It's
all
like
kinds.
going on a diet. Everybody wants to, but nobody does it. That's why the guided meditations are
They
easier,
are
more
helpful.
fun.
I really do
They're a
think
lot
so.
of
Yes.
fun. Yeah, they're a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
So Linda Berteau, she has a channel here too. She does a lot with the chakras.
Oh, I love that.
Chakralicious. And she says many times the ones who are negative are fourth chakra,
Yeah,
the artist personality type, or the sixth chakra, the visionary. So there you go. If you're feeling stuck, maybe you want to clear the chakras out. Get
definitely.
that moving. Yeah.
It's
Get that.
huge, and also sometimes we'll get a slash in a chakra. Like,
Mm-hmm.
particularly your root chakra, if you,
Yeah.
have a mother issue, is very common, and getting that slash in your energy body is, it's like a constant drain.
Uh-huh.
So and that's kind of that fight, flight, or freeze, that's that frozen spot.
Mm-hmm. We can probably see what we can do, Divine Universe. Usually we need to have a specific name of somebody and what their relationship was, but we can give you a general sort of a spiritual um, answer here. And then I think we're probably going to be done because I have some readings I have to do. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are
So,
they private readings?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
that's always
nice.
nice. Yes. Um, yes, Sonia Claiborne, if you can. Jean, Sun Psychic Jean is having a class on next Saturday. And if you go over to her channel, it's a chakra class. So maybe you guys should check it out. And
Yeah,
Teri's working with her on it.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm working with her on it, and I believe it's at 2 o'clock Central, and,
Hmm.
it's also on my channel in the community section and on her channel in the community section. And you can contact me, Teri, holding your space at gmail.com,
Yeah.
or Jean, and we'll set you up with it.
Yeah.
Um, so Divine Universe, somebody's coming in with a big platter. Somebody that liked to cook, and it's pasta. It looks like spaghetti and red sauce. It's kind of what it looks like, or a fettuccine. It could be a fettuccine, it could be a white sauce, but it's tangled mess of pasta. So I don't know if this makes any sense to you, but it's somebody that lots of love around you, but somebody that definitely wants to know that you're being nurtured. It's your
it's a grandmother.
Yeah. So, and she's like, yeah. And so, and then she's showing me the red and white checkered tablecloth. It could be black and white, but a checkered tablecloth to go with that. So I don't know if she was Italian and that's why she's showing it to me, or my daughter's in Italy right now and all I can think about is pasta. But she's really bringing that in. Is there a necklace that you have of hers, Divine Universe? Because she's showing her throat also. So anyway, she's bringing you lots of love.
Oh, isn't that nice? That's nice. I'm getting I don't know if it's a male or if it's your grandmother, but I get here that it racing against the clock. And from what we're talking about today, we all have a built-in internal clock and our soul contract that would let us know when and where would be the best place for us to be and learn and so forth, the things we came down here to learn. And I'm getting, don't worry about it. Time goes fast and time goes slow. It's a very interesting card, but it says against the clock. Don't push something and or wait. So it's allow. I'm hearing allow. Somebody's telling you to allow. I'm also getting that somebody up there that you may not have seen eye to eye with in the past, says everything's really cool right now. I get you. I had this happen to me. I had a very dear, what I thought, but controversial friend, I guess. And he was very Roman Catholic. And he used to always say, praise Christ and everything that was his thing to say, except to me, it was praise Buddha, because he knew I was a Buddhist and he would laugh at me about everything. And one day I went to a medium and she said, there's a man here who's kind of heavy set with a bald head. And he says, you were right about everything. And I knew it was him because he was like, why didn't I listen? And then I get this really cool card that says, give it a whirl. And look, she's got some beautiful, what do you call them? Whirly. Yeah.
I want to say whirly birds, but that's not right.
Yeah. But you remember when you blow it and it moves this way? Yeah. Anyway, they want you to play more. They want you to just enjoy your life and play some more. It could be that it was a male or a female. I'm not getting it. It could even be your grandmother, but I'm thinking that it was probably a male that we were talking about. A pinwheel.
Thank you. Yeah. Everybody's got it, man.
Everybody's got it except you and I.
I know. Whirly bird.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you so very much. There was a comment I wanted you to see, Teri, because I don't remember. So you must have done this. From Rafaela, the reading you gave on Thursday, Friday morning, my grandmother communicated through her husband's phone.
Oh, that's amazing, Rafaela. I'm so happy for you.
I know. That is beautiful. And you were open to receiving and you got the message. So hello, Garnet. Yeah. Carl, you have a channel for your cats and dogs. Is it Carl Heese? Is that your channel? Yeah. Everybody go over to Carl Heese and like and subscribe, and you can watch him with his cats. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
She passed in 2023. Oh, everybody. All your girlfriends are in spaceships. Oh, yes, Paul. You sexy thing. What can we say? Yeah. Oh, what did you tell your daughter?
Oh,
if you wouldn't mind sharing.
Yeah. No, not at all. Well, we just went through everything. I documented what I saw that we could do online. And she had 2 other credit cards with her that were fine, my credit card.
Mhm. Yeah.
And she had a business card with her too that I said, use the business card because you can use this as a deduction. You know,
Yes.
she's taking retreats and she's
Yes, she
doing
is.
things.
Yeah.
So it should be a tax deduction. I said, definitely use that. I said, I'll put some money on there. I said, if need be, we could even send some money by Wells Fargo or Western
Yeah.
Union.
Western Union.
But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was easily done and it was solved it was solved all while she was on a ferry from the mainland Italy to a little island. And we're talking to a guy in India from the bank, and I'm in KC. And it's like, and I'm like,
Well, a global alliance is what
didn't
it
even
was.
think about it till I hung up with him, and I
Yeah.
was like, can you imagine?
I know.
Yeah,
Isn't it? It's fabulous that we live in these times. So we have to look at that. There are things that nobody else would have ever thought we would be able to do as we
right?
do now. Yeah.
Yeah,
So when we're looking for, when we're saying everything sucks or whatever, we have to remember that everything doesn't suck, that there are good things. And that's how we all come together. That's
yeah,
beautiful. That's
yeah.
beautiful. Thank you, Teri. Always a pleasure. Thanks to everybody here today. Much love. And we'll see you later. I'll be on tomorrow. Teri's coming up with her meditation tribe in the morning.
Yep.
Check it out. All right. Bye-bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody. Thank you, Aley.